Sorry, it did that. Okay, so I don't know if it's just like that because last time when I went live with someone the other day, it did the same thing. And I don't know if that's a YouTube thing or I got a phone call and that happened. So
Yeah, it maybe it was the phone call because when I go live on OnlyFans, the same shit happens. Like I can't go back in. It'll literally like it basically stop. If somebody calls me, it stops my live, so I have to start all over again. I
it's
don't.
so irritating. But I have
Yeah.
my phone on do not disturb. I mean, if my child calls, it'll come through. But other than that, we're good. Okay, so after like 4 more minutes, if you want to start smoking, you can.
All
And
right, cool.
people start coming back in here in a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, so where were we at?
I was saying how I don't know if you heard what I said. Because you were saying how you want people to know you as Paisley, like that you want people to fuck with you, and I was saying how that's really cool and I respect that and that's like what I'm on because I feel like especially like in our 20s and stuff like we're figuring ourselves out, you know what I mean, and even in our 30s we're still figuring ourselves out, so like people what do we want to do, who do we want to become, all this shit, right? So I just think it's cool to be like, you know what, just like me for me, you know what I mean, I do all these things but at the end of the day I want you to get to know me as a person, and that's the main reason I created my YouTube channel because I didn't want to just be like that girl who gets fucked. You know what I mean? I want people to be like, yo, she's cool as hell. Like, have you ever heard her? Like, have you ever heard her talk? Like, yo, like, go, yo, you know, she has YouTube. They'll be like, what? She got a porn, so she has YouTube. Like, she actually talks to people. Like, that's cool. Like, not everybody does that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's not, and like that's totally fine. But like, that's my route. Like, I'm a very talkative person. I get along with all types of people. I'm definitely an extrovert, right? Um, so yeah, like I really respect that. Just fuck with me for me. That's it. That's all you gotta know. Continue this journey. You may learn a few things. You know what I'm saying? You may learn a few things about me, about yourself. You probably be entertained in the process. So like, yeah,
okay, so let's get into our love life.
yeah.
So I recently got out of an 8-year relationship back in like October. Maybe it was finalized in
8 years.
8 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time, but here's
Very
the
long.
thing. I've I have a lot of people giving their opinions about what Paisley should do now. One, being 33 years old. Two, just getting out of a relationship. They're like, oh, discover yourself and do this and do that. But I'd be like, because here's the thing. For the past 4 years, I became Paisley Hayes. I'm not the Whataburger employee, but like I've my identity as Paisley Hayes and stuff. And so I have been putting in focus my learning myself for one, like moving into my 30s, learning myself, um, making sure that I'm happy and secure with myself.
Right.
And even though I've been in a relationship, I've been doing those things because I honestly felt like it really wouldn't last. And then they were like, "Well, why'd you stay so long?" Well, you get comfortable. It's just easy.
That's simple.
But for like the past 3 years, we haven't really had sex.
Mm.
Like it's been completely non-existent since last July.
Is this your
Like,
baby daddy?
mm-mm.
Okay, okay. I was just sorry. I was just curious.
Oh yeah,
No,
no, it's
I know when you have kids with someone, there's always that too. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
yeah,
I have a kid with him. You know?
yeah, no, like he's been in her life since she was 2,
Yeah.
but
So that's still
um
like that's a basically a father figure to her. You know?
yeah, most definitely. And so I would think about that and but I'm just like, one, I'm not about to sit up here and be in this relationship where I'm not getting no dick.
Right.
Cuz for the
But
past 3 been
what
like
was the problem? Like, why weren't you guys having sex? Like, was it a mutual thing? Did one of you guys want like one and the other one didn't, or you guys both were like,
um I just okay, so for the past 3 years it might have been like once a month. I wanted it, but I'm also the type that like I do feel like the guy should initiate it.
yeah. So, but did you guys ever have like a conversation like, hey, why aren't we having sex anymore? Like, you know
Maybe
what I?
I've been trying to have those conversations. I never got a direct answer. He's
Yeah.
not in the mood, he's too tired, this and that. Like it's just excuse after excuse. I don't think you should neglect your girl from sex. I do feel like when you're in that type of relationship, people might think this is wrong, but I think sex is an obligation in a relationship. Like that's something you need
Yeah.
you need to do for
Yeah.
your partner.
For sure. For
And
sure, your ass is gonna get cheated on, but yeah.
yes, and I'm just not a cheater, so I've just been
Right,
sexless for a while, and, recently went out on a date, and then just, like, all these things started going off in my head, like, "Wow, this is what it's like to actually date a man, not a boy, to go out, have fun, like, we didn't have fun, we didn't go off on dates, we literally been, like, roommates the past 3 years, and
wow,
so why some people may think, like, I shouldn't be focused on that, no, I wanna date, like, I know who I am, I'm secure in myself, I'm happy, I've
right.
my chakras are aligned, my mental's clear, my energy's good, like, I'm ready to find who I wanna be with. Guy or girl, I don't fucking know, but I'm just ready to, like, be out there, and then I don't know. So I saw your post yesterday just talking about loving from a long distance, but I guess I wanted to start off with how is dating in this industry? Because I've never officially dated as Paisley Hayes, a sex worker.
I have so much to say. Um,
Do we date civilians? Do we date people in the
I
industry?
don't know, girl. Oh wait, it's 6 minutes. I could smoke.
Oh yeah, smoke.
Yes, yes. Um, and I need to for this conversation. I do because goddamn, we're about to go down a rabbit hole. So yo, honestly, that's a question I've been asking myself, right? So before I was with someone, um, that was the whole reason I moved to Texas. I don't know if I told you that, but yeah, uh, that didn't work out. So and it didn't. I wouldn't say it didn't end on the best of terms. You know what I mean? So there's that. There's a lot that I learned, a lot that I'm still learning. You know what I mean? A lot that I'm learning to accept and be okay with, and also let go at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, but what you call it? Yeah. So like, I don't know, like if man, because before I got into that relationship or whatever, I was like, I'm gonna try to date someone in the industry because before that I was finding a lot of guys who wouldn't fuck with me because of what I did. They were like, "No, I'm sorry, I can't get down with that." Or I'd have the guys who would be, "I'm okay with it," but then like a couple months go by or something, and they'll be like, "I don't know, I can't." You know what I mean? I can't do this, and I'm like, "The fuck you mean? Like you can't do this? Like no, like you just got all pissed off because I told you I was gonna go shoot with someone, like whatever." So then after like I just kept getting like disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Like time and time again. I was like, these fucking stupid ass civilian men, like they don't fucking know what they want. And then I was also running into an issue where a lot of them didn't want to get tested. So I'm like, well, we're not fucking if you're not getting tested.
Yeah.
Just because you're not industry or whatever, that does not mean anything. Like you have a penis that can have bacteria and shit in it.
Hmm.
So yeah, you'd be surprised like how many civilian guys don't even want to get tested. And like if we're not fucking or anything, then I don't know what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna be intimate if we can't be intimate with each other because you won't go to simple fucking blood test done. Honestly, that shows me a lot about you and what you think about not only me but yourself because you don't even it doesn't bother you, like, you don't know your status or anything, whatever. So, I was like, "You know what?" So, all the bullshit with the civilian men, I was like, "Let me try to date someone in the industry," and, girl, I don't know if that's any better. I couldn't tell you. I think a good man is a good man,
Hmm.
regardless of what he does. You know what I'm saying? I personally think for me, and I'm being so honest right now, this is the first time I'm saying this publicly. I think for me, the biggest thing is accepting the fact that that man, if I'm with someone who's in the industry, that man is gonna go out and have sex with other women, and I'm gonna have to be okay with that. Just at the same token, I'm going to have sex with other men, and he's got to be okay with that as well. A lot of these men in this industry be like rah rah talking all this shit. They won't. They will have a fucking heart attack if their girlfriend fucks somebody other than them. And I'm like, but you fuck like 5 bitches a week. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that fucking double standard bullshit. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I've seen it happen. I've seen men be oh da 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 da, and then like their girl only fucks them, and I'm like, why is that? You know what I mean? But you go
Yeah.
out and fucking all these girls every week, and she probably can't say nothing to you about that, right? So I think if there's a lot to unpack, and a lot of men will say, oh, that they don't have nothing. Like I'm good, I don't have trauma. They do. right?
Mm,
And what happens when they don't resolve that trauma, they literally will bring that out onto every little thing that y'all go through together. You know what I mean? Every little thing, from going out, from anything, from any decision you make to what the fuck you're gonna wear that day. You know what I'm saying? So imagine you're in a situation where it's like this, where you're informed, where you literally have to go out and have sex with other people. And then to top it off, like, listen, people cheat every day. There's probably no footage of it. No one's ever gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? This
mhm.
is porn, bro. You put shit out, even if you delete it, that's on there forever. So
Yeah.
that's something that you have to recognize, is that the stuff that your partner makes is gonna be out there, whether
Mhm.
you like it or not. So I don't know about you, but I'm a visual person. Like, when I could hear about something and it may upset me, but if I see it, it's gonna hit me 10 times worse. You know what I mean? So it's one thing if you tell me, oh, I did this, but then I see it, I'm like, "Ugh." You know what I mean? It gets under my skin in a whole nother way. So
Yeah.
I think that that's a huge thing. And that's something that I was just talking to someone yesterday about this. I don't know if I could, like, be in a relationship again with someone who does it. And that's a personal thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Nothing against them. And it's not like, oh, how could you be like that cat? Like, you fuck other people and you'd want him to be okay with that too. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I would. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to feel like I'm about to go do my job and my partner's gonna be mad at me for the rest of the
Mhm.
fucking night or for the next few days. Like, give me the silent treatment. Cause that happens. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I wanna be in something healthy. Like, I know that sounds so corny, but it's so true. Um,
Mhm.
so I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I think the biggest hurdle for me is just understanding that they have a job to do just as I do. And that we have to be able to communicate with each other everything. Like, yo, okay, babe, I'm gonna go out and shoot with this person tonight. Cool. Oh, all right. You know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
a lot of people try to keep things a secret, and that's what happened with me. A lot of things got fucked up when you keep things a secret or when you don't tell somebody. And then they have to find out on social media like everybody else. Like, what?
Okay. And that's a thing I think that would bother me. So I think I could. Okay, I haven't yet, but just really sitting and evaluating and thinking about it. I could definitely date someone in the industry. One, if they're not just in the industry to fuck. Like, if I actually see like they're making legit good money from it,
Right,
I
right.
would be like, okay, cool. So that's one. Two, if they were very honest and open. So, like how you probably don't want to see it, I want to see it. I want to know, okay, what's your plans over the next few months? Who you shooting with? What's going on? I think something else that I had to think about. Okay, I say this as a disclaimer because I really don't want to date a civilian guy. I would like to date someone in the industry, even though I don't necessarily do porn.
Mhm.
I just think it would be easier for my lifestyle because I need someone who's okay with the fact that I talk to a lot of people every fucking day,
Right.
and I don't have the time to be all up underneath your ass every day. So I need you to be busy. So therefore, if you with all these other people, you busy. You're not all up underneath me ass because it makes it so. Now that's not saying I don't want to hear from you every day. Now I want to hear from you every day, but just not all day.
No, I
And
get
so
that
if he was
so
or
much.
she, if they were like clearly being like, okay, here's this, or showing me their content, like, hey, I just shot this fire ass scene. What do you think about this? Um, you're traveling all the time, so and when you're at your back at your hotel at night, it's one thing. I understand this. You gotta go. Well, you don't have to, but like after you shoot, you're hungry. You're in this whole nother city. You might want to go out with them. You might want to go have a
Yeah, it's not a big deal to go out to eat with someone. I
yeah.
never thought that. But people
But
be
if they
doing the
spending
most.
the night with you,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta have a boundary. You gotta have okay. There's nothing wrong with going out grabbing coffee with someone, especially y'all just finished shooting. I get it. You're tired, hungry. That's how I am. I don't really eat before my shoots because then I get bloated.
oh
So
yeah,
after I shoot, I want to go fucking eat.
yes,
And
that's
then
what
knock
every.
out. Shower, eat, and knock out. Like, that's my plan
Mhm,
after I shoot. I don't go out and party. No, I'm fucking no. So there's gotta be boundaries, and that's what I'm saying is that people, men and women, I can't just put it on men. I've seen women do this shit too. Well, they'll
mhm,
do something, but then they just go over the top. And I'm like, well, then you wonder why, you guys are arguing, or now he feels like he can't trust you because the last time you were only supposed to do this and you did that. So
Yeah.
like trust is a motherfucker too. That shit for me, when even if you're a friend, like whatever the fuck, if you do something like bad, obviously, it's gonna it sticks in my head. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
then we find ourselves in a similar situation. I'm my brain is gonna go right back to what happened the last time. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that's a necessarily a good thing, but it happens. So then I just find myself like, well, is he gonna do the same shit he did the last time, or did he learn? You know what I'm saying? Like, if
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be worrying about, or like, oh, all the time. I can't live like that. I can't live fucking worried about this, or wondering if someone's lying to me. I can't live like that. I cannot. So communication absolutely has to be number one, without a doubt. Like how you said, yo, show me let me see what you guys did. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, cool. Listen, you done what you seen? Whatever the fuck, you relax a little bit, call me afterwards. Not that big of a fucking deal. If you say, babe, I'm going to bed, I just want to call you. I'm literally laying down. I'm going to bed. Good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Fine. Like, it sounds so simple, and it can be, but it doesn't always work out like that. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, and that's like in my little world of perfectness. You know what I mean? I would say, yeah, I'd have this beautiful man, and he would do this and that, and he and he would call me, and you know what I mean? Everything would be cool. Like, yeah, I think if that was happening to me, I think it'd be a setup. I'm like, why the fuck is he being so nice? Like, why? There's something.
Well, see, I think
Doing something.
it's important if we're gonna date in this industry as well. I feel like it helps when you're their friend first.
Hmm.
Because when you're somebody's friend, like you're their pretty good friend, they be telling you all their business. So you can kind of see how they operate as a friend. Like, what are they doing? So you know if
Yeah.
they're
No, for
telling you if
sure.
they're fucking off camera.
I
They're telling
I
you.
right. I like that idea because for one, when you get to know someone, you get to know when things are off. Even if you can't like pinpoint, like let's say you get to know someone and you know for a fact, let's say they hate the cold weather. They hate it. They tell you all the time, I fucking hate it. They've expressed to you, I don't like whatever, whatever. Motherfuckers going ice skating. Why the fuck you going ice skating? You know what I mean? Like that's just like a stupid example, but like that's just the process of getting to know somebody. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And I'm not saying, oh, you got to sit there and be like detective. I'm not saying that, like, because no one has time, like, to be like, let me decipher what is he really going there with his
See,
boys?
and that's the problem
You
with
know?
people that aren't busy. And
Yeah,
so it's like I need a busy man or woman because I can't be your only friend. I can't be your sole focus. You cannot be up underneath my ass because I'm not going to be like that with you. But
yeah,
I feel like it goes back to communication. That's key. Remember when I was working a regular job with like boyfriends in my 20s because that's really the last time I was single. Um I would be like, "Oh, whose post you liking? Who would you doing this?" Like looking, worrying myself up for no reason. Why? Because I didn't have a life outside of my man.
right,
But moving forward into my next relationship, I very much have a life, and I feel like that's going to be the hard part for me is because I'm not willing to stop talking to any of my male friends.
right,
I do respect boundaries. I'm not a cheater. I'm not willing to stop having 50 million females call me every day. I'm not stopping that.
right,
And they need to know that my life's purpose is first. But
right.
if we're on the same path, we're not like going two
That shit
different ways.
I get you. So I'm reading this book. I'm gonna go get it in a second. I read it every day, and it's been making me think a lot because I've had my own traumas and issues with love, even self-love. I'll be honest. There was a lot of times I fucking hated myself. I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror, the whole fucking thing, you know?
Yeah, that was
Um,
me before 28.
yeah, yeah, for real. It wasn't that long ago for me either. So, but I get sad sometimes. I'm like, damn, like, why did I hate myself so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Mhm.
let other people and other outside influences and whatever, like, make me feel so bad. Like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, now I look back at it. Um, but
'Cause we
it's
let them
fine.
project their thoughts on us and make us feel bad and doubt ourselves.
Yeah. So either way, though, but it's true. Self love is self. So outside influences, whether it be people, the society, whatever, that shouldn't affect how we feel about us. That should not. But I'm 30 years old and I learned it now, like recently. You know what I mean? Um, but it's taken time, and there was times I fucking lost myself. You know how like sometimes you're walking, da, 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 walking, 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 and then you get distracted by something. Oh,
Mhm.
come over here, whatever. It's kind of what happened to me being in Texas. Like I got very distracted, veered off the road a little bit, but just because you veer off the road doesn't mean you can't get your ass back on the fucking road. You see the road, go. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Then you decide whether you want to take a right or left, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever aligns with where you are at that moment. Um, so anyway, I was just like, what you said right there is literally what I was reading in the last chapter is that even if like you meet someone and let's say you guys have different interests. Let's say he fucking loves to hunt. I don't fucking like to hunt. You know what I mean? But the difference is you can learn to respect it. Like you can be like, oh, he's gonna tell you, babe, I'm going hunting with the boys for the weekend. After he made sure that he just spent like 3 days in a row with you, whatever the case may be. Like he didn't neglect you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He took care of you. He made sure, and he told you like weeks ahead of time, like, hey, babe, I'm gonna go hunting, even though you don't like that shit and you wouldn't want to be a part of it. Or even if he said, babe, it's a boys thing, like you're not invited. Like, don't take. I used to take shit personal back
Mhm.
in the day, like not recently, but I could even honestly say recently, if I'm being real with myself, like I would get offended sometimes, like, oh, why can't I be there or whatever? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And not check myself and be like, bitch, sometimes he needs to spend time with his friends. Like he had friends before you. You know what I'm saying? Like, chill. Like
See, in
it's
my
nothing.
20s, I did not understand that, and
Yeah,
I
you
probably
didn't
would
take it
have
you can't
maintained
take it personal.
had I.
Yeah, you can't take it personal. But again, I had to realize that that was my own issue because I didn't want to be left alone. You know what I'm saying? I like it was like, bro, like most of my boyfriends or whatever, they spent a decent amount of time with me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be like, it's one thing if a dude is neglecting you for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then
Mhm.
he's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna go with my boys. And it's like, I thought we were supposed to hang out this weekend. You know what I mean? If a man is putting in the effort, or person, whatever, if they're putting in the effort for you and they tell you, hey, I'm gonna go have a weekend with my girls, I'm gonna go, or I'm gonna go to a retreat this weekend for 3 days. Can you watch my dogs for me? Honestly, it could be, yeah, sure, babe, no problem. It could be just like that. You know what I'm saying? And they can, and but then on the vice versa, you have maybe have people who'll be like, you going hunting again? Oh, you're going on a retreat again? Or you're doing yoga again? You've ever
See,
been
I don't
around
wanna be
people
no
like that?
nagging ass bitch, and I don't need
Bro,
nagging ass.
I've seen men and women who will put you down even for doing something positive. Like you always going out, you're always doing it, or you're always and it's like, what's the problem? I hate when I'm about to go enjoy myself doing something, and then the person that I care about is like, "Why you doing that?
Yeah.
The fuck? I don't put down what you doing. What I even if I personally am like, I don't know what the fuck they find so fascinating about that, but that's what they like, and
Mhm.
you can't take that away from somebody. You know what I mean? Because then they will start to resent you. They will. They'll be like, "Damn, like this bitch is always nagging me, like when I'm going out with my boys, or like, obviously everything in moderation. We're talking about in a healthy relationship, not like this motherfucker going out every weekend with his boys. I'm not saying, but
Yeah.
everything's a balance. If he's spending time with you, he's absolutely allowed. I don't say that word allowed, but he can go out for a weekend with his boys. Just like you can go out to, you want to go have a girls trip for a weekend. Have fun, babe. Be safe.
Mhm.
Like we're talking like this, but it sounds so easy, but I feel like most of the time it doesn't happen like this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's easier said than done, and I don't
Mhm.
know what triggers us
Oh,
as hu
but oh,
okay,
anyway, sorry to wrap up what I was saying was basically so you're gonna have to respect that your partner has interests, and a lot of those interests happen way before you came along. You know
mhm,
what I mean? And that even if you don't like it, or even if you're not a part of it, or don't want to be a part of it, even if he says one day, "Hey, do you want to go camping or whatever?" You're like, "Fuck no." You know what I mean? Like whatever. You still have to respect that. Yo, that's his thing. Let him go
yeah,
have his fun, and then when he comes back, most of the time you come back from a trip and you're happy, like you feel good. You're like, yeah, I got to get away from the kids. You know what I'm saying? I spent the weekend not working. I wasn't on my phone. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So you want to come home to a house with your partner, and they'd be like, yo, how was your weekend? How? Oh yeah, let me show you what we did. You want to be able to still bask in that energy that you know what I'm saying? And then the next day you get ready for the work week or whatever. You know what I mean? But like it's just little things like that that I think, like, it feeds us, you know what I mean? And I think that that's what I haven't been in a very successful, committed long-term relationship, but from what I hear, I think, like, that's one, not the only secret, but one of the secrets is, like, that other person has let their partner shine with all due respect, you know what I mean? That be
And I
that be
think
in their personal life, financially, business life, you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah.
I think it goes I think we get this instilled in our head when we're kids to be possessive of our
Mhm.
partners. Our partners are not our property. Our
Absolutely.
partners
Yeah.
need other people outside of us, and you need to choose the right partner that one is going to respect the boundaries and not going to be disrespecting your relationship.
Absolutely.
But we can't be so possessive over our partners, and I
No,
think
it's never
that's
gonna
what
work. It's never gonna work. It's gonna end. As soon at some point or another, whether it be 2 years, 8 years, it's not gonna last. And you're gonna have a lot of, I feel like the longer you're in something, then the longer you have to grow and heal from it. Do you know, or double that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a long time. I want to tell people that you don't just wake up one day and, well, you will wake up one day and definitely feel like, after you've had a surgery and you were in pain for a while, and then one day you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I don't feel any pain. I
Mhm.
woke up, I don't feel any aches. I woke up and I feel I can breathe again. You know what I mean? That's how it will feel. You know what I mean? But that it's slowly, it definitely starts happening slowly, but once you get there, I don't know, man. I know I'm getting off topic, but it's just
So then
when
how
when
can
you feel it
yeah,
within yourself, you bring it out onto the world and you bring it out onto the people that you're with, and yeah. Mhm.
so the next thing is how do we because if we decide to get in relationships with other people in our industry, 9 times out of 10 it is going to be a long distance relationship because I feel like it can happen if you live in like LA, Vegas, Miami and you're in the popular spots where,
Right.
actors are,
Mhm.
but it's going to be a long distance relationship. So not only do you have to deal with the fact that they're in porn and fucking other people, but that it's also long distance, like it's a double whammy.
Yeah, that's also a lot to
And
deal with because I don't
that's what
know.
caught my eye yesterday with your post. I was
Mhm.
like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because you know what? I don't know about you, but I like one of my top 5 love languages is touch. So,
Hmm.
like, I like having physical intimacy with someone, even if it's
Mine's
not
quality
sex.
time and then physical touch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure physical touch is my number 1, and it makes sense because 'cause I'm always touching people, like, in a very, like, loving type of way, obviously, or in a very playful way. So, yeah, like, even if we're just cuddling or whatever, I'm a touch person. So, I don't know if I could do the long distance thing. Like, it's hard, it would be very difficult for me because, and especially if we're really long distance, like, if I'm on the East Coast now, even if I'm in the South, you're on the West Coast, that's not down the block, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so, like, I don't know if I could be that far from someone, like, for even if we see each other, like, once a month or whatever, I'm like, "That's not good enough for me," like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I need to be around the person that I'm with. So that would be the issue, so then we gotta figure out what we gonna do.
Yeah, and then I think you got to be clear in the beginning before you get into that relationship. When is kind of like your projected timestamp of when
Yeah.
you will be closer? Because it gets to a point where it's like, damn, baby, once a month ain't gonna cut it. Like,
Mhm.
but I do think it's easier for celebrities or people with money. Which I was talking to Jordan the other day, and he got upset because I said I want a guy to make $10,000.
Mm.
And he said, "Well, I shouldn't put these money limits on it. But if I'm gonna be dating somebody long distance, then I was telling him, which I could never date. I ain't dealing with no more Virgos. Um,
Ah!
I, Virgos and Sagittarius, we make great friends, great business partners, but I'm not. I was in a relationship for a Virgo for 8 years. I ain't doing it.
Oh,
I
no.
like me some Leos. I feel like my next relationship has to be a Leo because I have to try out my favorite sign. But off
Ah.
the rabbit hole. So I mentioned that while we was on here because we was also talking about dating too.
Uh-huh.
and he didn't like that I put $10,000. But baby, if I have a man making $10,000, he can fly out to see me more than just once a month.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's like you
Honestly,
can leave and I know when you're coming back. Like you be like, okay, well, I'm coming back this weekend and I have it in my head something to look forward to versus you just leaving and am I gonna see you at the beginning of next month? Do I
right,
have to see you at the end of next month, which is gonna make me feel like 2 months, like too long? Do we got
yeah,
money where I'm flying out to you once a month, you're flying out to me once a month, so we're seeing each other like every other week? What is going on? And
yeah. No,
so
I get what you're saying because at the end of the day, if y'all are gonna, if anybody's gonna do a long distance thing, y'all gonna have to make a considerable amount of money to be traveling to each, or however the fuck, you know what I mean? I
mhm,
definitely understand that. Because man, you got me thinking, like, if you dating a man that's on the West Coast or something, and he kind of to live on the West Coast is expensive as it is. So you like,
mhm,
damn, like, and you're gonna be able to have money to fly to me or whatever, because I can't really, like, let's say you can't really go over there, he got to come to you. You
mhm.
gotta be definitely making that money, or like, or else then it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like if you can't, make it out, or even if that's the case, then he gotta, pay for you to go out there and then also pay babysitter, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's a whole nother. Oh, that's a whole
And
nother
that's
ball.
another thing for me. I'm not dating somebody with kids. Well, I would date a girl with kids, but I don't want to date a man with kids
You're funny.
because
I get
I,
it.
I want to have more children and I
Uh,
want to be your like with my baby daddy that I have, I'm his first baby mama and he done got five more kids. I'm
oh wow. Yeah. What? Uh oh. What happened? Where's my cat? What happened with Paisley Hayes? Damn it. I don't know. Should I log off again? Ah, I gotta fucking go fix this damn. I don't know what to do. Please. I think I don't know. I guess I'm gonna log off and then log back in. Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna do because it's happened the last